Hi, Debbie Morton here, and I just want to take a hot minute to let you know that the video you are about to watch wasn't filmed specifically here for YouTube. It was actually over on my Facebook page, and I've brought that content over here to YouTube. So disregard any references to anything Facebook. I'm happy to have you along. If you like my content, you can leave a comment in the comment section, subscribe, and hit that bell if you'd like to be notified anytime I go live in the future. Have an absolutely wonderful day, and thanks for watching. Good morning. It is Wednesday, and it is Wednesday's Walk and Talk. And today I am in beautiful Sedona, and super excited to be here with you. And I want to talk a little bit about perspectives. And you know what? Actually, let me turn around because I want to show you just a couple of things. But I want to talk about perspectives. A lot of people are commenting that you're so brave for, wanting to sell everything and go on the road. And then there are other people, it's like, I could never, ever do that. I would just never be able to get rid of all of my stuff. And a lot of people are saying, make sure that you're safe. I'm going to try and get where the sun is a little bit better. Make sure that you are going to be safe. And so I just want to share a little bit about perspectives, but also in different situations. So right now, I'm in beautiful Sedona, and I'm about a 5-minute walk from a resort, and this resort will be one of the places that I stay a lot once I'm living a nomad lifestyle and out on the road. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Debbie Morton, and about 5 months ago, my husband passed very unexpectedly, and it changed my whole life, it changed my whole world, and it changed my perspective on a lot of things. And so today I want to talk a little bit about that perspective. So I have chosen to just live a nomad lifestyle. We have about 100,000 timeshare points, and I know if you're in a timeshare, that might not mean anything to a lot of people, but for me, it means that I could live probably, if I do it right, about 1.5 years out of timeshare. So I have chosen that next year in June, and I'm not even sure I'm going to make it to June, but next year I am going to basically sell everything, take the few sentimental items I have, put them into storage, and I'm just going to hit the road and live out of my timeshares. So when we talk about perspective, a lot of people are like, I could never do that. I could never just, be on the road and not have my stuff or whatever. Or, be safe, be careful. I'm going to switch my camera around really quickly, and I want to show you kind of what this looks like for me. So right now, this is the view. This is actually the view out of my hotel deck as well. There are balloons up in the air, and I'm actually going to incorporate a little bit of balloons into this talk. There's some balloons down low that are just about to land. So when we talk about perspective, we all see things through our own filters. And for some people, they may say, to give up all of my stuff and hit the road, that's a dangerous thing, or that's a scary thing. For me, in my perspective, it's a world of opportunity. It's just an incredible opportunity to wake up every morning to a view like this, or to look out at the ocean, and it's just stuff. You can't take stuff with you. And I can always get new stuff at the end of this journey. When I'm ready to settle down, when I'm ready to buy a house, then I'll buy new stuff. And I will have the stuff that I need in whatever home I decide to buy at the end of this journey. And as you go through life, I want you to think about, what is the perspective that you're going through life on? Because a lot of times we become very judgmental because we view the world through our own perspective. And sometimes, like in our environment, some people might think having a job is a wonderful thing because it provides security, it provides income, it creates a retirement account. And for other people, a job might be, oh my gosh, it's so limiting. The most I can ever make is this. I can only climb the corporate scale. I'm worth so much more. And there's such a perspective between people who choose to have a job for their life and people who choose to have a business for their life. And it's all in the perspective that we project on it. And it's all based on our filters. It's based on our experiences over our lifetime and how we interpret various things. For some people, this lifestyle is very dangerous because their security of their home is gone. And then for other people, this lifestyle is just, amazing, a world of adventures. when John passed on in June, I know that a lot of people reach out and say, you're so strong and you're so brave. Really, it's all about choice and it's about perspectives. And I no longer had the life that John and I had created together. Our goals and our dreams shifted because he was no longer physically here with me. But now there's a different perspective. And I tried as quickly as possible to look at life through a different lens, to look at life from a different perspective. And let me turn, because there's like vehicles there, and that doesn't make for a pretty background. There's a pretty background. So just like those balloons, and I'm going to switch this camera around too again. This is like so cool. There is a balloon that is, I don't know if I can zoom in. I don't know if you can see it, but it's like really, really low over the houses right there. But let's talk about those balloons for a minute. If I am down on the ground in the forest and walking through the forest, the perspective that I have is very different than the perspective. There's a balloon, I don't know if you can see another balloon up there, is very different than if I am in a balloon and I am looking down on the exact same landscape. And so when John passed, I'm sorry, I'm going to get into a little bit better lighting here, and hopefully you guys can hear me. I don't have a whole lot of signal here. There we go. When John passed, there's different perspectives. And in that moment, there was tremendous grief. And for the first month, it was just trying to figure out everything I had to do. I didn't know, where the money was. He took care of all of our accounts, including my own business account. And I had to figure out like what bills might be due, who I needed to pay, what bank accounts, credit cards were being shut down, bank accounts were being shut down. My perspective in that moment was just, I have to just get through each given day. I just have to get to the end of the day, make a list, and know that I got through certain things by a certain time. And then as time went on and I got the immediate needs handled, I was down in the forest, down in the brush, trying to get through everything. And then I thought, what if I got on a balloon and I went up and I looked at my life from a different perspective, not down in the trenches and trying to figure out the day to day and going through the grief and the loss and just ruminating on him not being there. But what if I put myself in a different place and a different perspective, and I could look at the world maybe through a different lens? If I'm down on the ground hiking, I'm in the middle of the woods, and at times I'll be able to peek out and see those mountains and see those beautiful rock formations. But for the most part, when you're hiking down in that valley, you can't even see the rock formations. All you can see is the trees, and you can't even see outside of the trees. And then you come up to a plateau and you have a little bit better view. It's like, there's some really beautiful rock formations here. But if I were to get in that balloon and I were to go up in the balloon, I can see like maybe to the next towns over, 20, 30 miles away. I can see so much more. So anytime you're in a difficult situation, think about the perspective that you're viewing things from. What is the perspective that when you're currently mired in a situation, sometimes our perspective is just like so limiting. But if you can just take some time and meditate, get to a quiet place and think, what if I went to a different level? What if I could look at things through a different lens? And a good way to do this is through accountability groups. It's through mastermind groups. If I'm an entrepreneur, and any entrepreneur knows, and if you haven't, you should read a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And Napoleon Hill talks about mastermind communities and the value of mastermind communities because they help you see different perspectives. Different people have different personalities. Different people bring different experiences to the table. Different people bring different belief systems to the table. And if you keep an open mind and you learn from all of these people. So when I first had the thought, I'm going to sell everything and I'm going to hit the road, that was a scary thought. Like, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to get rid of everything? And then I started to share my vision and my thoughts with some people. Some people thought I was absolutely crazy, and other people, and I would say, why do you think that? Like, what do you think are the downsides? And then other people would think, oh my gosh, that's like the coolest thing in the world. But having a community of people that you can just share some of your thoughts with in a constructive way to get feedback and to mastermind. And now I have lots of friends who are offering to come over, help me go through stuff, help me sort through things, and get ready to be on the road. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about perspective. Each morning we've been sitting on the deck and just watching those balloons go up. And I'm like, it's just such a different perspective. When you're in a hot air balloon, there is no wind. There is no wind because you're floating with the wind. And so you might go up on a day where you're feeling a breeze, and then you go up in a balloon and there is no wind. You may say, there's no wind today. This is like the most calm day. And then you come back down to the ground and you're like, ooh, it's a little windy down here. So it's all about perspective. So I just want to give you this final thought is always keep a mind that's open to everything, attached to nothing, and be open to looking at various perspectives. Sometimes we get so locked in our brain that my way is right. I am right because of this, this, and this. There is always another perspective. There is always another way to view things. And sometimes if you just keep an open mind, you listen to those around you, and